Ayo, not alive no.
I think you're live.
So let me in.
So hello all, welcome to the sixth stream of the All About
What?
FPL podcast. And this is a special stream because we are building up towards the first game week, and the deadline is right on the corner in about like roughly 90 odd minutes. So we have a couple of drafts that we're going to discuss initially, the five drafts that were present, and then we're going to look at some questions midway, answer those, and do our best in answering those questions as we build up towards the deadline. So, guys, how are you feeling? Excited? It's game week one.
All in, man. All in. Super excited for the new season. I think it didn't even feel that we had a break. It has come down to that sort of a thing. We hardly felt we had a break. But yeah, super excited to go.
I think I can agree that. Yeah, I think I can agree that we didn't have a break. Yeah, it feels like Game Week 38 was yesterday, but yeah, we are here for another stream. Yeah,
Seriously.
looking forward to it. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. Like just like every other season, we can say that this season is going to be like no other. But this season actually is going to be like no other because of a World Cup in between. So really excited.
Yeah. Uh,
And the whole
Srini?
format, because of the World Cup, the whole format is also, the way we look at the season, that also the perspective changes. The season is broken down into, smaller pieces. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Okay, then.
totally.
So, yeah, we have a season, completely broken up in parts. That's what we've discussed throughout the streams over the last few streams. Those who have joined us will know. I think let's quickly discuss our teams, and then let's keep a lot of time discussing about the alternate players to pick, looking at tinkering a bit towards the end, but it's advised not to do so because we'll start regretting towards the end. So I think the first draft is of Surya, so let's go in that order.
So yeah, a lot of thinking went into my draft. So last year, what happened was I didn't think through a lot of structure basis for before settling on my team. So this season, I wanted a proper structure for my team. So that's the reason I've gone a proper solid two premium model. So I've tinkered a lot around three premiums, but it didn't work out for me. The same with a big at the back with five premium defenders. That too somehow didn't convince me in terms of balance. So I've gone with Trent and Cancelo, like two of the best defenders from last season, and along with them, I have Robo and James. So these four, I don't have to talk a lot about them because they sell themselves. One of the decisions in defense was for me to consider between Robo versus Luis Diaz, and I was somehow convinced with Robo because the way he ended last season, he was averaging around 8-9 points per game towards the end of the season. It was either a clean sheet or an assist or a goal. Somehow he kept giving us points, and I think that should continue this year as well. Luis Diaz is someone that is key for Liverpool's attack to work, but still he has not clicked that much from an FPL perspective. Like you can go with him without him. And not be too afraid of, because he's not had a big history of a big haul. So he's someone that doesn't makes me afraid a lot for someone if I didn't go with. um, the fifth defender is Neko Williams, and at 4 million, he's again a great value. He didn't have a goal or an assist in preseason, but he was very good in terms of being involved in the attack. That was what was written in all of for his match reports and a few highlights that I saw. In midfield, the two preseason picks in Neto and Bailey. There's debates of either one of them. I went Maverick and picked both of them because I didn't want to miss out on the Ben Drama train like last year. So those two. Saka is the 8 million spot for me. Again, going by the fact that he's likely to be on penalties. Considering he took the last one, it's still unclear. There's talks that who wins takes it and things like that, but still there's a fair enough chance that he's on penalties. And Salah, I don't have to sell. Interestingly, I sold Haaland to Suresh in the last stream, and I have switched Haaland to Kane this time. That's
We
150.
we we kind of exchanged.
Yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
sold Haaland and I sold Kane. Yeah, that's how it has
Yeah,
been. Yeah, it
that's how it works. Jesus is. I have followed fantasy football for like 10 years now, and I've never seen an assert that's been owned this much in fantasy football. 75% ownership is something that's never seen in fantasy football before. I think Van Persie had close to 70% when he was playing for United. That's when I started.
73 was record.
70,
Yeah.
yeah, 73%. So he's crossed that. I don't know if he fails today against Palace, which might happen because Palace are a defensively strong team. I don't know.
It's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen. It's FPL. It's the FPL rule. So
it's all or nothing, Surya.
it's all or nothing. Yeah,
Those who
so,
don't have Gabriel Jesus will be happy listening to this part.
yeah.
It's
No,
25%.
That's why you see a big smile on me.
yeah. Oh, so one more thing about the five of us here is that everyone has one hard sell. Like one doesn't have Jesus, one doesn't have Salah. So it's going to be an
One doesn't
exciting.
have a Haaland.
One doesn't have
Yes.
Haaland, one has Kane. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
mixed traps. So one question from Luke I'll answer before thinking of the 5.5 million defender spot was kind of very exciting considering the value there because there are so many good options like Trippier. Trippier was a great option. There's a lot more people. Cash, Dean. I think Srini has Dean in his draft. They are all close to the top six fullbacks and top six defenders, but still priced kindly. If I had to go at five at the back, Trippier was in most of my drafts because he's on set piece, he's on corners, and Eddie Howe has also tweaked his lineup a bit. That was spoken about in our Newcastle preview blog as well by our correspondent. So there is the Almiron Trippier connection that's developing in that side of Newcastle's wing, and this was seen against Benfica, wherein. Uh, he had two assists, and both the goals were scored by Almiron. Both were pretty similar. So with Saint Maximin also playing on the other side, defense tends to slightly push that side when they're defending. So this kind of opens up an opportunity for Trippier and Almiron to push up and have assists written. So to me, Trippier is the best 5.5, 5 million defender. Your opinions, guys, on the one?
I personally think Dean. Since I'm going with Dean, I think so. My plan is I was thinking on the Spurs fullbacks for the 5 to 5.5 million spot,
Same.
but at the moment it looks like both Perisic and Doherty are not fully fit, and we are not guaranteed of their minutes. Also, they play Chelsea in game week 2. So my plan is Aston Villa are against Bournemouth and Everton in the first two games. So I think at worst you can get at least one clean sheet and one attacking return from Dean and Cash is what I'm expecting. So and then have the luxury of moving to the Spurs fullbacks from game week 3. So I think if you're looking short term, very short term, like till game week 2, I think Aston Villa picks are good picks because Trippier has 2 games in game week 3 and game week 5 tough games against Liverpool and City. So I think very short term, I think Aston Villa fullbacks are better than Trippier, but on the overall longer run, if you're planning till game week 8 or something like that, Trippier is the better pick.
So
Interesting.
I
that's
think
one of
I
the answers.
pretty much agree with Srini. I'm in the same spot as Srini. I also have Dinia currently. I think it's hardly like 1.5 hours to deadline. That's the only spot which I'm still contemplating whether to hold on to Dinia or switch to Trippier. There's one good thing that as Srini mentioned for long term for like up until game week 10 or so, Trippier is simply the best, and you can even swap him easily if you have the likes of Andreas Pereira. So game week 3 and even game week 5,
Fine.
he has home games with Brentford and Brighton. So if that is some sort of a combination you can look at, you can easily swap these both and run on for a game week like up until 10.
Something to add there is if you go with Trippier, Game Week 3 and Game Week 4 are tough games. As Suresh mentioned, Pereira is one option to rotate, and Patterson is also a very good option to rotate. I agree that Everton defense is not that good, but Game Week 3 they play Forest home, and Game Week 5 they play Leeds away. So again, if you go with Trippier, I think you can manage Game Week 3 and Game Week 5 with a 4.5 midfielder or a 4 million defender.
Defender, yeah. The only
Yeah.
caveat to Patterson is that Coleman is back in training, so
Yeah.
he could probably catch up in a week or two, depending on the fitness. I think I heard Lampard saying he's going to play the under 21s game, so I think he can pretty much catch up. So as a dead 4 million option is still good. He can swap and use in a couple of games. Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
opinion
And
is so I am actually going to bring up someone who not many people have talked about, that is Cucurella, new signing of Chelsea. So today Tuchel said in his press conference that Chilwell is not up to speed yet, so he's going to take time, and Alonso is almost all set to join Barcelona. So Cucurella might start at left wing back as early as tomorrow. So I'm not saying we should have him in our drafts right now, but I am also in the Dean bandwagon like Srini, so I'm planning to have Dean for the first 2 game weeks and then move him out for another defender. So that defender I am thinking at the moment is Cucurella or a Spurs wing back, because I think Cucurella was one of the best defenders last season for Brighton, and given the fact that Chilwell is not fully fit yet, and also that Cucurella can play at left centre back as well. Plus he costs 5 million, so I think he will be a very good option.
Yeah, so we'll quickly look at some of the comments from the chat which are coming. So we have the first one is Stephen says Shane Duffy captain one. And I think Duffy joined Fulham, right? If I'm correct. So there's something that
Yeah.
happened today. So definitely not.
Duffy captain for double game week again.
You would have considered if it was a 4 million defender, but unfortunately it's 4.5, so no going Duffy at the moment.
One more quickly. Should we have money saved in the bank?
Yeah, this
A
is
point is always good to have some sort of cushion. It's not mandatory. See, if you're booking in transfers, it's good to have. Let me put it that way. If you're booking in transfers, it is always good to have that 0.5 cushion, just in case if there is a price rise or something. If you're having a very good, solid team, you don't expect anything, any injuries or anything of that sort, then it does not, there's no need for having money in the bank.
Yeah, I think everybody will kind of agree to it. So unless you are looking to make transfers, you need 0.5 just to play around with the price raises and hopefully things go away. So that's why if not, if you're happy with your team, then it's fine. It's good to go with having 0.
Yeah, one more thing I want to bring on is like last year when Ronaldo came in, like he didn't raise for a bit. So for people that are afraid of moving on from Kane to Haaland probably in game week 2 for the Bournemouth fixture like me, Suresh was in that case a bit back. So so the point here is that players coming in new, they might be price locked. It's not very transparent, but that's an interesting point. So Haaland might take some time to either raise or drop in price. So people either having him in game week 1 or planning to in game week 2. My prediction is that Haaland, just like Ronaldo last year, will go slow in terms of price changes. Something the algorithm is not transparent, but an interesting point relation from Ronaldo's case last year. Yeah.
Let's go to the next question that we had: is team structure or big at the back? I mean, balance squad or going big at the back. This is a very a tricky question, because I think the community is itself divided into two. Some people preferring to play safe, some people are ready to go at the back. I think we have a draft that is a big at the back kind of draft. I think so. I think it's Anirudh's draft, right? Which is 5 at the back.
Yeah.
So I think he will probably give his opinions on that. So we'll keep that a bit for a bit later. Sankar is saying excited for new season. I think all of us are. We just roughly have about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Next one is, what about the goalkeeper? 4.5 plus watt or 5 plus watt? And I'll add another question to it, is that we've got is Ward the Leicester keeper? I think as far as Rogers said that we'll know on Sundays what was the answer, kind of. So
but it's widely predicted that Ward will start first. In fact, in the last Leicester's friendly, I was saying that Ward will start first.
Surya's having some network problems, I
I think
guess.
Surya,
was
yeah, you're
not
cutting out.
confident with
Yeah.
what. So okay, guys, yeah,
Yeah, I think
Srini?
I'll go on board.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Srini,
Suresh,
you want
good.
to take it?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Ward, looking at the comments and the scenario on Leicester, I think he's most likely to be starting the game, and it's a pretty good option at 4 million. If you're pairing either a 4.5 or a 5, it depends on which way you want to go. Even a 4.5 would make sense. Someone like a Sanchez rotates really well. Um so that's the way you can go. But given all the comments, it looks like he's going to be starting at least for a few games. We might not know what is going to happen up within the transfer window, whether they're going to get a new keeper or they're going to move to the other guy. So yeah, to begin with, it's safe to say what is going to be there.
So, what is the structure? So, that was one of the questions where it is, do I go with 4.5 in a ward or go with 5 and then ward as a pair?
So I feel that it depends on the team completely. So for a lot of people have talked about the price of Ward and Everson at 8 million, but what about the team? Leicester's defense last season was not good, and this season they've been linked with their big players moving out. Plus, Kasper Schmeichel himself was a big figure at the club. We remember the Salah penalty that he saved. He used to make some big saves to help Leicester. That is something that has not been talked about enough. I would say Schmeichel himself will be a massive miss, plus the injury to Ricardo as well again. So I feel Leicester's defense is not reliable. For that reason,
Yeah.
I would not pick Ward to be my starting goalkeeper. Along with you can have him as a bench spotter if you have someone reliable to start. But I don't think Ward himself is someone you can look to start.
Yeah. Just to add on the ward, I was in debate. Sam Martin, one of Leicester's ITK, he posted 20 minutes, like an hour back, saying it's 70-30 to Ward to start as the goalkeeper in Game Week 1. But I think that is not going to happen.
Okay, I think Surya is off again with his internet.
So it's widely expected that Ward will start.
Okay. Surya, you are
Yeah,
cutting off.
you guys carry on. I'll just fix this. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. So 70-30 is what Surya was saying. So yeah, so it's Ward probably. So it's basically it's Raya or Sanchez with Ward, or it's Pope with Ward and Ramsdale with Ward. So that's probably going to be more or less. We're going to see even Mendy with Ward. So all those pairings. So I think it depends on your squad structure. If you need that 0.5 elsewhere, or you need to spend and get a reliable goalkeeper. So that's probably a short answer to that question. And I'm looking down if we have anything more. I don't think so. This one question for Wolves. Will Neto score at all, considering Wolves' attack are mostly 1-0 wins, even with Jimenez? This is. I think if we knew the answer, we would have picked the right place before and won FPL, right?
I would put it this way. See, for a 5.5, I don't expect him to score every week. If it is a
Yeah.
return once in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's also fine. I would say that's the bare minimum that's the expectation we should take into the season.
Yeah. Also, Leeds, Fulham, and Bournemouth in the first 5 fixture for Wolves. I think, like Suresh told, at 5.5, you should give a shot for Neto. Is what I feel. Like it's tough to look beyond Neto at that price range for me.
Yeah, so I think everybody agrees you should be happy with what you get and don't expect Salah returns from a 5.5 million player. So that's in short. Let's go to the next draft, that is Anirudh's draft. And here is the pick at the 5 draft with no Salah. So Anirudh, you can carry on.
Yeah, so actually, quite surprisingly, this screenshot I shared 3 hours back, and the team still is the same. That in itself is a big deal. So I guess I can safely say that I'm set on this team. So my reason to going big at the back, I'll first talk about big at the back, then come to the big point of Salah not being there. So big at the back, I just used a simple concept of trade-offs. Like you were talking, you cannot expect much from someone like a Pedro Neto. So I was comparing, originally Perisic was part of this team. So I was comparing Pedro Neto with someone like a Perisic, who's also 5.5. Now, ideally speaking, it's going to be Perisic who is going to get returns when he's fully fit, right? So that is how I was looking at. Like for example, Robertson again. Robertson, if you compare with other midfielders of that price range, Robertson's going to get more points because he's playing in more games. If we look at the stats of these players, they are way better than any of the midfielders in that 6.5, 6.5 range. So I felt that on any day, these defenders will add greater value than those midfielders who are budget. That's what I would say. And then coming to the second point of Salah not being there. Okay, so I think we can all agree with the fact that nobody can have Haaland, Salah, and Kane and have a good team. That's simply not possible. So we can have only two out of the three. So my feeling is that I'm actually someone who went reverse. A lot of people watched Holland in Community Shield and said that no, we should go away from Holland. But I was Holland in Community Shield and I was like, I should take him definitely, because he literally played against the best defense in the world and he could have got a hat trick on another day. It's as simple as that. Yes, he may not have scored, but if we watch him in his Dortmund days, he's a lethal finisher. And if he can do that to Liverpool, I think he will score a ton of goals in this Manchester City team, and I just cannot look past having him. And coming to Harry Kane versus Mo Salah, that was a debate. I was sure that I needed Haaland. Like everybody's going to bring him in for Kane in game week 2. Coming to Harry Kane versus Mo Salah. So the thing is, first thing for me is here's the price. Salah is 13, Harry Kane is 11.5. That's 1.5 million save. I can use that 1.5 million and upgrade my defense and pick someone like a Reece James or a Cancelo, which I was not able to do if I was having Mo Salah. So that was one reason. This is where I think about the trade-offs. Now, of course, I know I'm going to lose out on points not having Salah. I know that. That I accept. But we have to look at trade-offs and look at the balance of the side. Having Kane and saving this 1.5, in my opinion, Salah, Kane, Haaland are all going to perform similarly. And I decided that I'm not going to captain Salah in the first 6 weeks. It's going to be between Kane and Haaland. Now, which means that I can afford to go without Salah if I feel that I can get covered up by Haaland and Kane together. And I feel they'll do it. And given the fact that Kane had a blistering preseason, and if you look at last season's stats, since Conte took over, Kane has by far been the best performer. And I don't know why people are looking to move him on from game week 2, which himself baffles me. Because you look at his fixtures all the way until game week 6. I don't know how someone will want to get rid of Kane. And that's why I felt that I need Kane and Haaland. The only way this was going to happen was without Salah. So that's why I got rid of Salah bravely, and I've not thought about bringing him back at all. So I am going without Salah. And yes, I lose out on points, but I think the rest of my team will make it up. And I guess I've explained most of my team. Mason Mount, I feel, is the best option at 8 million for me because I think I came for the Chelsea correspondent broadcast and I said stay away from Chelsea players, but since then we've made some good signings, we've had a positive vibe, and we had a good preseason game as well. So if I feel more convinced about Chelsea, and Mount is our best player, and I feel he will perform better than someone like a Diaz or Saka. And Martinelli versus Saka, I went for Martinelli because all stats point to the fact that there's nothing between them and they're 2 million cheaper. So I would say that barring penalties, there's nothing between them. So that's why I went with Martinelli. Jesus explains himself, and I've talked about everybody else. And Ramsdale. Now, this is the big talking point for me, just still because of the 0.5 saving. So the thing is, I want to move on from Mason Mount in game week 2. I am very interested in Jack Grealish. So if Jack Grealish is not playing well against West Ham and I need to go to someone like a Mahrez or Foden, that is where the extra 0.5 will come in handy if they have a price range. So I want to move on from Mount in game week 2, and game week 3 I want to move on from Dean to Perisic because I think Perisic will be fit by then. So I might need that extra money. So I am thinking of downgrading Ramsdale to Raya or Sanchez, but highly unlikely. This is the only doubt I have. I guess that's pretty much it.
Well,
Yeah.
full marks
So I just
for
want,
justification, right?
yeah. Luckily we didn't
I
do
think
this
I
earlier
think you're
because yeah, he would have convinced me with no Salah if he had have done this yesterday or like 2 days 2 days back. Now I'm very safe. So that's the. But one thing I want to ask Anirudh, because he's a Chelsea fan, like how confident are you about Mount season? Because every year his minutes per return is also reducing, which is a good sign as an FPL assert. And he pretty much takes up a right winger spot kind of in Chelsea play. And this was seen against in the game against Udinese as well in the last friendly. So which essentially makes him and Saka even in a similar kind of position players. And Mount is obviously not on penalties, but still he's on set piece and free kicks. So How would you compare these two players? I know you've picked Mount over Saka. Like, how confident are you for a good season for Mount? Yeah.
I am very confident because we've gotten Sterling, who's a better player, who makes the entire team better. So if we look at the Udinese game, just the
Mm.
first half itself, the player who was most likely to score was Mount. The amount of times he got into the box to score goals, it was insane. I know he keeps drifting around. He might start on the right, but he keeps drifting around. He kind of plays like a 10. So we kind of went into a front two with Havertz and Sterling with Mount in behind. It keeps changing around. So I feel Mount will take a central role. He's going to be part of everything that we do. And if Jorginho is not starting, Mount will take penalties because he is the second choice penalty taker in our team. And once Kovacic is fully fit, Kante and Kovacic will be our first choice midfield as well. So there is every chance that Mount will be on penalties. But as I said, from my team's perspective, I am going to remove Mount from my team in game week 2. So this is more of a 1 week punt, and I'm looking at Everton as an opponent versus Crystal Palace. Clearly, Everton is an easier fixture when compared to Crystal Palace. And as we've seen last season as well, Palace's defensive record is really good. So that's why I went for Mount over Saka or Diaz for that matter.
Interesting.
Okay, there's
That's
one question that Sankalp has put in, and I'm just going to put it up on the screen as why not downgrade Gabriel Jesus and add some more meat to the midfield?
Yeah, so this is a very simple question to answer. Just one word needed. Simple.
uh, uh,
I was going to add that actually. I didn't notice the comments initially, but yeah, I mean, firstly, it looks good to see. I mean, refreshingly good to see a different formation after a very long time. But definitely, the midfield is kind of weak, as Sankalp has pointed out. So yeah, that was sticking in back of my mind as well.
and this
Yeah.
was coming from a Arsenal fan. He's our Arsenal correspondent as well. So
He
he's
wants you to do more miserably, I feel. That's why Chelsea to remove Jesus as well.
maybe he's a Chelsea fan, so that could be one of the reason. Yeah, yeah.
But looking at Anirudh's team, it feels like I have not seen a team with 3-4.5 midfield options. So my question to Anirudh is, it's like, if someone like Neto or Bailey starts performing really well, or someone around the 6.5 range or 5.5 range starts performing really well, like Benrama last season, how do you plan to bring them in? Like, they'll be because of their budget. I think they'll be farly quickly owned than the other players. So how do you get on those trains with this structure of?
Yeah, so as I said, my placeholder is Mount. Mount is someone I'm going to get rid of. So I can downgrade Mount to any midfielder who, if someone performs well. At the moment, I'm thinking Grealish, but it need not be. Grealish himself will give me another million, so that I can invest on someone like a Neto or Bailey for removing one of the 4.5 midfielders. So Mount is someone I'm going to to get money, which again, it will be a very cheap midfield then, but I guess the balance of my team will work out because I'm very forward heavy and my defense is strong along with a strong goalkeeper. So I guess I can work around with little cheap midfield.
It's interesting to talk to Anirudh always, because we when we look at his team, it looks like Mount is the only good midfielder, and he plans on removing Mount from game week 2. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it will haunt me in the back after some days, but I don't know.
I, I, I
I
was
think
I was hoping Steny will tell this dialogue so that I don't get fired for this in the back. So yeah, he has made it not
So there's one more Chelsea fan in the comments who's agreeing here with Anirudh. Mount and Raheem are going to cook.
yeah.
Yeah, Raheem is someone who's going to be interesting really. In a couple of game weeks, probably, we are going
Yeah.
to scrapping for money to upgrade to 10 million and stuff. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, Srini, your thoughts on Sterling? He's been a City boy for long. How is it to see him in another blue shirt, and how does that impact his FPL potential? Because he was 2 seasons back a great asset. I remember him scoring a hat trick in game week 1, and he replied to someone on Twitter as well, like "Thank you, boss," to another fantasy manager. So, but since then it has been a downfall for him from an FPL perspective. Does that change at Chelsea? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so firstly, I think Sterling has been a very, very good player and one of the under-celebrated players at City for what he has done in the last 4 or 5 years at Manchester City. And coming to FPL, I think he last 2 seasons he was a little bit off the radar, considering how Pep was rotating him and the new signings coming in and taking up his time. But from 2017, 18, 19, those 3 seasons, he crossed 200 points in all the 3 seasons, which only quality players can do. And I think not many have done that for in the midfield price range, crossing 200 points in 3 consecutive seasons. And Sterling is someone who has the quality to do it again. And coming to Chelsea, I think Sterling will operate on the left at the start of the season, and we'll see, like, I think it will be a Mount Havertz Sterling to start off, and I think left is the best place where his attacking potential can come from. In the right was one of the seasons 234-point season where he was playing alongside Sane and he was getting those assists. But on the left is where he can cut in and score those goals, and he's good at the left. I think he'll be a really very good FPL pick, and the price range is what makes him even more attractive. Last few seasons, FPL had made him 12 million, 11 million, which was difficult for us to get to Sterling because we don't want 11 million asset to be benched frequently. But at 10 million, going to Chelsea, where we know he will be the number one attacker in the squad, I think we will look at him at some point in the season for sure.
Yes, so I think it's like Sterling and Gabriel Jesus have the one common benefit is that now they'll be able to play regular football. So we can really start to consider them as assets who will give us points, because when they were playing at City, always we had the fear of them getting rotated benched, even though when they were playing well, right? We do not have that certainty factor. So that was kind of putting most people off. And now with them joining two different London clubs, I think with guaranteed game time, I think we'll have a lot of ample time to get them in our squads as we go down the season. I think we are good to go to the next draft. I think we'll go next to Suresh's draft. Then we'll go to Srini's draft. So Suresh.
Yeah, mine is pretty straightforward if you ask me. A typical 4-4-2. There's a few gambles that I've played, but let's see how things are going to go. So I'm starting with Ward and Sanchez as my keepers to begin with. A 4 million keeper, I don't want to miss that chance, at least if he's going to play a few games. Straight away, I'm going to start him as well to see if that's something going to work out. But I have Sanchez as a backup keeper, even if Ward is going to go out. And reasonably big at the back, I would say. Double up on Liverpool defense, Cancelo and Digne. Typical Salah and Haaland as my two premiums, along with a few gambles in the name of Wilson and Kulu. So immediately, straight away, there is a huge thing missing here, which is Jesus. I wanted to play that little gamble for 2 game weeks. I have plans to, somewhat come back to Jesus starting game week 3. So the idea behind missing him out was basically he's already like 75, 76% owned. So I don't know how much more it will take, for a price rise, immediate price rise, or crazy amount of price rises. Anyways, I have a 0.5 in the bank just in case if things go really bad. I can always somehow try catch up a 0.5 elsewhere and stuff. So that's the whole idea, to leave behind Jesus because of the Crystal Palace game and take a punt on Wilson for game week 1. So that's the idea. So as Surya mentioned earlier, I was pretty much settled on Kane all along. Almost 99% I was, out and out I was going with Kane, but somehow, things got changed. There's 2-3 factors which we ourselves discussed in the previous streams. One is that how likely am I going to captain Kane? So in the previous stream, I told I was very much confident that I was going to captain Kane. But as few more days of inputs and informations coming in, I thought I'll go play it safe with Salah and have Haaland. Anyways, I was, had that mindset of getting Haaland in for Kane in game week 2. So why to book a transfer? So that is the whole idea of bringing Haaland straight away in. So that's the idea behind the thing. Yeah, just a couple of gambles, Kulusevski and Wilson as a differentials. Hopefully they work out.
I have a question to ask straight away here. So, considering that Kulusevski may not start from game week 2 because Richarlison will be back, so how do you think you can deal with that?
Yeah, so I'm currently having already, I wouldn't say book transfers, but tentative plan. So plan is Kulusevski is a 1 week gamble, Wilson is a 2 week gamble. So Kulusevski to someone like Foden in game week 2 to double up on City. And then game week 3, Wilson to Jesus, or the other way around is downgrading Wilson to Tony. So Tony for Brentford, the fixtures start getting really good from game week 3. There's two options. Either I have to, take a hit, make some money elsewhere, and get Jesus if he's going to be, really get going in the first 2 game weeks. So that'll cost me a 4 point hit. Also find money elsewhere. Somewhere I have to downgrade someone like a Dinia or something like that. So that's a plan. Kulusevski is a 1 week gamble.
But I love that Wilson pick, really. Big fan of Callum Wilson. And all of us, actually, all three of us are big fans, me, Surya, and Srini, of
Yeah.
Callum Wilson. So
Yes.
I love that pick. He actually, so we mentioned him differentials as well. He has been very, very, very good in the first 5 game weeks of each of the last 4 seasons. So
Yeah.
I love that pick. And I think you should look because of game week 3 and 5. So it may be a 2 week punt, but he's
Exactly.
having all the potential to start well. Yeah.
Exactly, and there's only one caveat in my whole draft is that there's the Dinia slot. That is the only thing which I'm not fully convinced. Either I might go Trippier and rotate him for the game week 3 and 5. I might bring him Andreas Pereira in, and swap him out on the bench. So that's the only slot that I might change now to deadline.
Yeah.
So the deadline is
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing about Andreas Pereira is that Harry Wilson is injured for six weeks, which means he'll be on all set pieces. He was taking from one side, Andreas was taking from left, and Wilson was taking from right. But now every set piece will go to this guy, and probably with Mitrovic, I think he scored 4 goals in preseason, and 3 of them were from headers. So he's very strong aerially. So Andreas could, if you start, could even have an assist potential in those game weeks that he
Definitely.
starts.
Yeah.
I think we have a
Yeah.
great comment that's coming up.
Yeah.
Bench 1, Perisic. Pretty easy. Perisic.
This is
Or
Perisic,
I would put the question other way. Yeah.
This
I
one,
would
yeah.
put the other way. Why have Perisic? With all the comments and
Yeah. Sorry. We'll get this done and then move there. So I think bench 1, Bailey, Neto, Perisic, probably like as I think Suresh was saying, why start with Perisic at all? Like do Trippier and then move to Perisic probably. I'm not confident that he starts. What's your thoughts? Like anyone else that on him starting?
I think Perisic will, even if he starts, he might play at best around 50 minutes. Given the 5-sub rule,
Yeah.
I think he might not get a lot of minutes, but highly unlikely that he'll start because Conte clearly mentioned that he is not entirely up to speed yet. So I will not take that gamble. I would rather bring in Perisic from game week 3 because game week 2 anyway is a difficult fixture where we cannot expect that much returns from him. So I feel it will be perfect to bring him in game week 3.
Yeah, I completely agree with Anirudh what he mentioned. And on top of Conte's comments, there are rumors on Twitter, leaked team line or a possible team lineup as well. So we don't have anything confirmed, but there's a possibility that would be the most likely team for Spurs. But yeah, Perisic, best to see a couple of games and then jump on game week 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I think this goes to say pretty much for both the Spurs fullbacks that is Doherty and Perisic because we don't know who's going to play. So I think wait and watch is better for any of the Spurs fullback options.
Yeah, perfect. So I think I'll flash the next one as well. We'll let Suresh answer this because I know who Srini is gonna tell here. Yeah.
Any alternatives to Neto or Bailey other than Neto or Bailey? That's a curveball. I think people are considering someone as crazy as Almiron. So I wouldn't go that I wouldn't go that far. I think in that price segment, it is still Neto or Bailey who are possibly the best options that we have.
Yeah,
Looking beyond them is too much of risk. Neto and Bailey itself is like uh, for that price segment, it's fine to have that gamble, but anything beyond, looking beyond that is too much of a risk.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
I'll
want.
need to. Anirudh also has a point. I think me and Anirudh are coming for the same pick with Dewsbury Hall. We personally think
Oh,
we are big
Oh,
fans of him, and we think this should be the season where he would be getting more and more minutes. And with Barnes also injured, I think Leicester would be moving to a 3-5-2 at the moment, with Barnes likely to be out for I don't know, like a few weeks it seems, at least. So I think with 3-5-2, and I think this will be where Dewsbury Hall will be taking up a more attacking role, and he'll work well with Madison, because and he has also had a very good preseason, and his fixtures are quite a mixed bag. He has Arsenal and Chelsea in game week 2 and 4, which are difficult games, but I think the Brentford game and Southampton game in game week 1 and 3 are quite good games to start him. But these are just alternatives to Neto and Bailey. But as Suresh told, it is very clear that Neto and Bailey are the best in this spot. But if you want to try someone very differential, he's won by just less than 1%, Dewsbury Hall. So Dewsbury Hall is the best shout other than these two.
I agree. So I was also going to say, I was going to say three names. First one was going to be Dewsbury Hall. So I'll say the other two. Just keep an eye on someone like an Aronson from Leeds or Dwight McNeil. So yeah, not yet ready to get picked, but those are
yeah,
two exciting options you can just keep an eye on because of the fixtures as well. Both Everton and Leeds do have a very kind run to start the season. So probably they are an alternative much probably 2-3 weeks later. Not now though.
yeah.
I have one pick that is just owned by 1% of players. It's really a player that is shot in the dark, but who could play. That is Anthony Ilanga. So he's priced 5 and his ownership is just 1. So again, United bias. But we don't know if Ronaldo doesn't start, right? There's a chance that you will see Rashford, Sancho, and Ilanga play. And until we don't know what the Ronaldo drama might happen, and until Martial is back,
Yeah,
Ten Hag might stick with this front three. and Ilanga might get some run of games. But for 5, I think it's very tough call
yeah.
other than Bailey.
yeah.
No, the thing is, Dewsbury Hall is someone that could hold you for a longer period. Bailey is someone that's very short term. Dewsbury Hall is someone that's quite long term, because he can last the entire season in your team. He's that kind of a player. And with Srini pointing out that 3-5-2 switch could do even more better for Dewsbury Hall, and he's got 2 goals and 3 assists in preseason. Like the last one was a delight. Madison and Dewsbury Hall both combined against Sevilla and their 1-0 win. That kind of prompted the three of us to put both of them in the differentials blog as well. And Aronson, I watched a bit of their last friendly 6-2 win, and he was really good in terms of opening up. His through balls were really coming along, and the team gelled. But he's still young. He's still adapting to the Premier League. He, as Anirudh pointed out, one to consider in probably 2-3 game weeks or 4-5 game weeks down the line, but should be in FPL point of view some point this season, definitely. Yeah,
And there is another suggestion in the comments.
yeah,
Alternate for Neto and Bailey is Cornet, who's come back into the Premier League.
yeah,
But probably let's give some more time to
yeah,
watch Cornet, and let West Ham also settle in.
yeah. Suresh, this is we spoke about this on the United stream as well. What's your thoughts on Sancho? Except for the price point that's very odd at 7.5, everything else points to him being a good asset. I want to hear your opinions on him. Yeah,
I think, see, almost we had this chat.
yeah,
Probably Marshall was the best, but now
yeah,
he's not going to be available injured. The second best is definitely Sancho. Price probably a little higher side, but he's nailed on to the minutes. But the only caveat is that despite United having a good preseason, I'm still not very confident. The lack of transfer activity and whatever is happening around Ronaldo and all that. I wanted to keep my hopes and both on on the club as well as an FPL perspective as well at a very
Yeah.
low level. So I wouldn't really go anywhere near United assets, to be honest. Probably at best you can take a gamble on Rashford or as Aditya mentioned, someone like Elanga for a couple of game weeks. But other than that, it's slim pickings in United. Probably give a few games and then jump on to someone like Sancho if things are getting better for us.
Yeah.
Okay, I think can we go to my draft, because
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
question has popped, Surya changed the screen. Uh,
Uh,
that's my draft. And what do you see on the right side?
Sancho.
That's a good segue into the next thing, right?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good
So
way to.
I really it made my day, that question coming. But yeah, I am the only one who has at least one United player, but I have two. But I'm ready to
Two.
get burnt. Like how Anirudh is taking gamble with no Salah, I'm taking the gamble having United players. But so even
Yeah.
I still have point 0.5, and that point 0.5 is for price rises and movement sideways, movements here and there. But the vast majority of the squad is self-explanatory. I don't need to mention most of the players which mentioned on the screen, but I've gone with Dalot and Sancho, because I think Sancho is someone who's very key, and I think it's pretty much evident the way we play against Atleti in Norway, right? The right side was pretty weak, and with Elanga playing on the other side, I think it was Reynaldo, the fullback from Atleti, who had a feast because it was too easy for him to defend. So with Sancho coming on, it will add a better creative spark that side, and I think we should start to play better. And I think 7.5 is the price range wherein you either go with that player or you go to Martinelli and then go big at the back and here and there. It's very difficult to find that balance. So I've gone with Sancho. Hopefully he does something. So what do you have to say? We're taking a chance. Like Mount, I'm taking Sancho. And Dalo is someone I am debating still whether Dalo or Nuri, but the United bias is pretty much, just taking me in one direction.
I can evidently see that. Eight Nuri is probably it's going to solve your longer term issues. A
Yeah.
4.5 with good run of fixtures,
Longer
but I can
term
see
of
the bias.
Yeah.
the
No,
Dalo
Aditya is
longer term
expecting
also is
a Dallo assist Sancho goal in his dreams. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I termed Dalo as the cheap Cancelo.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That
Oh,
That's too much of asking, man.
that's so
You will get 100% with Cancelo. The Dalo will give you 50% returns.
so.
So that's
As
what you have
United
to do.
fans, me and Suresh don't accept this. We have no part in this commentary.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
no, I,
Yeah,
I actually like the Dallo pick. Actually, it's a good pick. Yeah, but Sancho, I would ask why not Rashford instead of Sancho. 1 million you get extra as well. Both of them had good pre-seasons, and Rashford is more proven in the PL than Sancho. Why not
I'm
Rashford?
not convinced with Rashford. I'm not. Even if you
Okay.
see in the
I'm not.
preseason,
I'm
right?
not convinced. Whole
With
of
anyone you
United.
will say, but I'm convinced more with Sancho. Rashford is someone who just keeps on running down the flank. He's doing his best. But at the end of the day, Martial was dropping in, and this is getting mockery of my draft here. It's what is
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on here.
To add to it, I'm not actually convinced on Aditya's draft because if you look at it, he spent like 12 million for Dalot and Sancho. If you look at his draft, the weaker points in his draft are the two United players according to me, and I feel like 12 million spent on Sancho and Dalot. I think over the first 8 weeks, someone like Martinelli and Ruben Diaz, both are 6 million. They cost a 12 million combination. They'll easily outscore Sancho and Dalot. It's what my thinking, first thinking looking at this draft.
Yeah.
And one more question to Aditya is like, are you going to start Sanchez this week or what this week? Considering your two United attackers who will hopefully get you returns.
If United fails, Sanchez keeps a clean sheet, man. Look at other side also now.
Okay. I like how you expect things this season. So
Brighton or 1-1 draw team, they are expert at that, so that will be perfect, I guess.
but when it comes to United, they are a 4-0 team, I guess. So I don't know.
See, first of all, Srini got Diaz because of his Man City bias, and he's priced 6, and he plays for a better team, and he has high odds of clean sheet points. I agree with that, but it gets very boring having the same picks, right? I mean, to certain extent, you can keep your squad template. I mean, bearing Sancho and Dalo, The rest all players everybody has, right? Almost 90% of the players have those players, right? Just the two, we are just finding balance. It's just game week 1. Let's see how things play. We have World Cup. We have an extra unlimited transfer. We can use our wild card early. There's a lot to play for at the start. So let's go ahead and see. If it backfires, it backfires. We can't win.
Oh yeah, definitely. See, if there is one season to go for gambles, I think it's this season. It's come at such a way that we can
Yeah.
play around, take gambles early. There is always cushion to roll back on a wild card. There is another break. There's always a good amount of ground to make. You can go for gambles. That's definitely for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll answer this
And
question.
all the more Sancho could be exciting as well to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hopefully it clicks on.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Saka, Sanchez, Bailey, Martinez, Ramsdale, Neto.
Yeah, I think it depends on. Yeah, Anirudh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, as I said earlier as well, the Martinelli versus Saka, there's not much between them. So I would go for Martinelli over Saka. And there is the advantage of having the 0.5 in the bank as well, like price rises. So I would prefer to have the second option because Bailey is more of a 2-week punt, where Neto you can have for like 6 weeks. So this seems more stronger to me than the left side one. So I would go with Martinelli, Ramsdale, Neto combination.
Yeah, I think same here as well.
Yeah, I think I would agree that too. Yeah. Sorry.
Clear consigns.
Yeah. Perfect. So it shouldn't have been about United, but Aditya made it about United with a new jersey with two United players in his draft. Yeah, but overall the other picks are good. Luis Diaz is someone that's not been who was highly owned, but then that ownership started to drop the moment Saka took penalties and Mount also scored a few goals in pre-season. He was around 30% ownership, but it slowly started to drop. But still, he's a really good option from Liverpool. I really like that one. James Trent. I think the rest of it picks itself. As even Suresh said, you can take those maverick punts in one or two positions. So if it works out, it's Aditya's win. If it doesn't work out, he's gonna make Srini's life hard. That's all. Yeah, that's how it rolls.
I am with you, Aditya, because I have gone without Salah, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
I am with Salah, but I'm with you.
Yeah. So whose draft is next? Yeah.
It's Srini's draft, so let's go back. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in goal I've gone with Ramsdale. I feel he is the best 5 million goalkeeper compared to Mendy, and I think compared to 4.5 keepers, I think Arsenal's run of fixtures till game week 8 are really good. So Ramsdale, who also gets big bonus points, I think Ramsdale is the best keeper at 5 million if you are looking at. And coming to defense, Trent and Cancelo like pick themselves. And coming to James, it was a close call for me between Diaz and James. I was thinking on Ruben Diaz and double up on City defense for the longer run. But thinking quite deep, I feel like James is someone. They say a quote like something like, if you stay at those low times, you can get those higher times. James is, if you stay at those 1-pointers, you will surely get that 15-point all, I feel. And considering the fixtures Chelsea have, I think those are the fixtures where James could be a great pick. They play Everton, Leeds, Southampton, and Leicester in the first 6 weeks. So all these 4 game weeks are potential for a 15-point haul for James, which I don't want to miss on. Also, like Anirudh pointed out, Cucurella, the buy of Cucurella pushes more James as a right wing back. I guess he'll be surely starting as a right wing back, and there won't be any. He'll be nailed, not like last season when he wasn't fully fit and Tuchel wanted to manage his minutes, wanted him to run less, play him at right centre back. So James is my pick, and the differential in my squad is Dean, who is just 4% owned, and we have talked about Dean. It was a close call between Trippier, Cash, and Dean. So yeah, since this is a pick for just the 2 weeks, and I have 0.5 in the bank. So for 2 weeks, I feel Dean outscored Trippier, and the point five in the bank is to bring in Perisic or Doherty, whoever is fit. And coming to Dean versus Cash thing, Cash is more of a good goal threat, but I did a mistake of watching the Bournemouth's last friendly highlights. They were terrible in set pieces. They were not able to defend crosses at all, and it was a total miss. I think it could be a game where Dean could feast totally. So I'm going with Dean. And in the midfield, I have Diaz, Neto, Salah, and Martinelli. Salah, Neto, I think we have spoken much about them. And like as Anirudh mentioned about Martinelli, he's 2 million cheaper than Saka. And coming to the right side of Arsenal attack, Sankalp was mentioning in the Arsenal preview blog, like during the preseason with not Tomiyasu playing and Ben White playing in that position, Saka was occupying more of the wider areas to create with. Ben White is not someone who can create the width. He's not a natural right back. So Saka is
Yeah.
drifting more towards the outside area. So I think uh, so I have chosen Martinelli. Martinelli, I think his numbers are same as Saka, and I think this should be his breakthrough season. It's been good for a while, but the returns haven't come. He wasn't able to nail down his spot. So this he has a good. I like his shooting really much, very much. So I think he'll be in for a very good season. And coming to Luis Diaz, this is the spot which will be rotated. And for the first week, I think against Fulham, Luis Diaz is the better pick compared to Saka, or Mount is a closer one for me. But I don't think I'll double up on Chelsea with I'm already having James, so I'm going with Luis Diaz. In attack, it's simple: Jesus and Haaland. So yeah, this is the draft. Some things I'm thinking on at the moment is Suresh should totally agree with it. He's also contemplating the dean spot, and I'm also in the same contemplation. I don't know whether to go with it or not.
I've
I don't
actually done it.
know. Okay. Your remote
As
team?
we are speaking, yeah, as we are speaking, I've gone from Din to Trippier. I've all set my team. That's it. That's the only change I've done as I started the stream, and that's the only change that I've done now. Din to Trippier, and it's all set.
Yeah, and another thinking, what I was thinking to this draft was one more change, getting Ramsdale down to a Raya or Sanchez. So I'll have 1 million more in the bank and push the Dean to a Ruben Diaz. In that way, I can get a very set defense. I'm not sure if Ramsdale plus Dean is the below par pick, I guess, on paper compared to Diaz and Sanchez. But for the shorter run, I think I need the differential pick in Dean, because my team is very much the template team. Usually, I go a little more differential at the start and it backfires. So I want to play with the safer team at the start and have only one differential with Dean.
One question I have though: why Nathan Patterson ahead of Nico Williams?
Yeah.
Because
I-
Patterson may not start once Coleman is already back in training, I guess. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Suresh
played
mentioned he was
under
back
21.
in training. So yeah, I think I will move to Neko. But my initial thinking was, even though Everton are terrible, I feel Everton will keep more clean sheets than Forest. So that was my thought process behind it. But if Coleman is back, and I think I'll by deadline, I'll change it to Neko Williams.
I think Srini is thinking of buy deadline as something that's very far away. It's actually just
We're roughly half an hour away.
just half an hour away. But interesting fact about this draft is that Srini is someone that I knew used to be very differential in terms of how he plays. He once captained Diolofeu for a hat trick long back, and he was a big Marcus Alonso advocate. But kind of that's how the FPL has changed over the years, right? Now we pretty much pick teams from the top six. As you could see, there's hardly one or two players outside from the top 16. That's mainly done from an engagement perspective. There's a lot more fans around the top six teams, and FPL wants players to pick from these teams. So, how easy has it been to make a draft? Because I know all of you guys here has played FPL for a long time. Uh, I myself have felt it to be very easy to make a draft this season if you have the basic core ideology behind how you want to play sorted. So how much has it changed in your opinion? Yeah.
No, for me it has been easy. Like Surya mentioned, it's been easy for me because we are largely going in with players from Big Six. That's been the target for almost all of us. If we see each of the drafts, all of us have at least I would say 9 of the starting
Big
11
five,
from
big
Big Six.
five, I guess. That's
I
our
get the
target.
one. I'm pretty sure the one you excluded is not Manchester United, but okay.
No. I
It
want
is.
to know
It is.
which was the team excluded.
It
Yeah.
is Manchester United.
For me, it is I have picked teams. I have picked players from the Big Six, so that is my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, guys, quick thing. I just want. Sorry to interrupt. I have to drop off, so I'll just sum it up. So I think good discussion so far, and pretty much good set of teams with a lot of differentials. Wishing you guys a good luck, and I'll try catching up in the next stream. So sorry to leave early. I have to
Yeah,
go.
no worries,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, take
Thanks.
care.
No
Bye
worries.
bye. Yeah, all the
Good
best.
luck,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
take care,
Hopefully
bro.
no
Good
Good
Tinker.
luck
luck.
for the new season.
Good luck, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
So as I was saying, it's been quite easy to pick a draft. It was just to decide which of the premium players to leave out. That was the big challenge for me. I've been flirting around with leaving each of them out at different points to finally come to a conclusion that leaving out Salah was the best option out of the three. So that's been the only debate for me. Apart from that,
Yeah,
it's been pretty smooth sailing. I have not really had too many options and confused it so much. It's been just 2 or 3 players here and there.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coming to what Surya was talking, I feel it has been comparatively easy, but with more and more managers registering to this game and more casuals driving non-casuals and taking up the game seriously has made it difficult to take punts at the start of the season. It's like you should have certain players to not go very far behind and lose interest in the game. You should stay in the mix till if you need a top 10K rank or something, you need to stay in the mix till game week 10. Just hang in there and then watch those games and find those differential picks for yourself and then move ahead. That's what my thinking is. So I don't want to miss out on very early. I want to have at least a decent start to the season. So I've gone with these template picks.
yeah. And has the number of people playing the game actively and the number of managers joining in changed your goals for the season? As in, do you go with any fixed goal of, like, say, top 10K is incredibly harder these days to
Hmm.
achieve. So personally, I have no goals for this season. I just want to enjoy how much ever I enjoy playing FPL and running the blog. So any interesting thoughts here, like someone that wants to win it, say top 100, like Aditya?
I'm not going
Uh,
to do it. That's not what happening. With Sancho and Bello, I think you people have ruled me out.
yeah.
No, I think I am looking to finish top K if possible. Looking at last season, I found a very simple solution. Captaincy is the most important thing. If we can just go with AK, I think top 10K is very easy.
Yeah,
Just blindly captain whoever AK is saying, and for anyone watching the stream as well, then top 10K becomes a real possibility.
yeah. That's
So
yeah.
one of
Just
the questions,
yeah,
yeah, we'll take up this question first and one question which we missed later. So the
yeah.
question is chance of Ward starting. So Surya, you take it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was this Leicester ITK Samuel Martin. He just like 1 hour back posted saying there's 70% chance that Watt starts this week. He hasn't had a preseason since he was recovering from an injury from the National League duty. So he thinks 70% chance for Watt to start. And it's basically because of his injury. Other than that, Watt, his to be the number one choice for Brendan Rodgers, because Iverson is still picking up minutes. So I think that is a conscience that mostly he starts. So 70% chance that he starts. So that's what we have at the moment, Callum, because Rodgers said you will see on Sunday. So that's what he said. Probably this ITK has helped a bit for us, FPL managers. So it's 70% in Watt's favor, Callum. Yeah.
Yeah, so one question which you missed out was Steve asking, do we need Perisic from game week 1 or we can afford to wait? Yeah, I think most of us would agree with this answer of mine. Like, we can wait, even though he's highly owned and has the bigger haul potential. I think from game week 3, considering how he performs and how fit he is, how much Conte plays him, I think we can wait and jump onto Perisic, but have a plan to get him by game week 3.
Yeah, it's either
I agree.
probably cash or Trippier with that point 5 in bank, and then you can upgrade, or like say James or one of the premium defenders which you are ready to give up if you want him from game week 3. Yeah, I fairly agree with that as well.
Same
Yes.
likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kristen Ganesh is the next one who have asked
I was
the
going to ping. I was going to ping that question. You got it.
yeah, that no Arsenal fans here, but I still want to take up this question considering FPL and Arsenal are going hand in hand this season. How many of you fear Arsenal to do a Arsenal today, considering we all have 2 to 3 Arsenal assets?
That's I
Definitely.
firmly I'm very much afraid, considering I've doubled on Saka and Jesus as well. They have known to making our lives bad once the deadline passes. But the hope here is that Arteta is building something. It's taken him a few years to be in this position, and this the strongest Arsenal side we have known for a long time, and there isn't a known flaw in the starting 11. So earlier, there was this CDM problem that was solved by Partey. Then there is wing backs. Now there is Zinchenko to Car Tierney. There is Jesus, a proven goal scorer compared to Lacazette. So the team is a bit more stronger. I think Vieira said this team could compete for the title, which is strong words coming from him. Especially in the last game he played them, he actually defeated them. So he said the team is much more stronger and different from what he saw the last time. So I feel Arsenal should come back into that reckoning of a consistent force. So hopefully it doesn't,
So
considering I own two of them. But I know Anirudh is gonna reverse this. So
no, yeah. So the thing is, when I picked my team, I looked at Arsenal's fixtures for first 6 game weeks. Tonight, I'm not having great expectations at all. It's a very difficult fixture, Crystal Palace. I hope they go on to prove me wrong. But tonight, this could happen. The Arsenal could do an Arsenal tonight. I won't be surprised because out of the first 6 fixtures, Crystal Palace is the most difficult fixture. And last season stats as well for Crystal Palace is really good, especially at home. They are very good at home, and this will be a big test. But all I can say is if Arsenal play well tonight, I
yeah,
think they are in for a really good season. That much I know for sure.
Yeah, one thing to add to what Anirudh is speaking on is even though Arsenal fail today or do an Arsenal today, get a 1-0 loss, I think you should still hold on to whoever you have because you are not buying them for just for game week 1. You're buying them till game week 8, and their fixtures till game next 3 fixtures are Leicester, who are a poor side defending, and you have these Fofana rumors, and next you have Bournemouth away, and then you have Fulham home. So you are not buying Jesus or Saka or Martinelli for game week 1. You are buying them for at least till game week 4 or till game week 8. So have the patience with those Arsenal assets.
yeah. So like there's an Arsenal question to go with this, Martinelli or Saka. I think we have covered not much differentiates both of them in terms of stats. They both are pretty equal. The only difference is that Saka could be on penalties, which is also not surely known because he won it against Sevilla and he took it, and the consensus is that whoever wins it could take, because all three of them, Jesus, Saka, Martinelli, are all good penalty takers. So you don't know that as well. But from my opinion is that there is always good to have 1 8 million slot in your team, so that you can either move to say someone like Foden or Mount or anywhere else, and you can easily downgrade to a 6.5 million asset as well. The opposite is that if you start at 6.5, it's going to be hard to upgrade. So I would prefer Saka, but there isn't much differentiating. If you're confident that Saka will give you more for that extra 2 million, then probably go for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was coming for that. Prefer Dean longer term, but what are your thoughts on cash over Dean for the 2 weeks? Better goal threat. Yeah, I think this was my thought process. I still, yeah, it is agreed that Cash is a better goal threat than Dean, and uh, Dean is more of assist threat coming to expected assist or chance creator, and Cash is someone who got a goal against Man City in the final game last season, and he is capable of getting in those boxes. He has a good long shot from outside the box in him. But if you, I think Cash would be someone who you should go for a longer term pick if you are going for cash. He'll get those 3-4 goals over those first half of the season or something like that. But considering the fixtures, especially who they are playing, Everton and Bournemouth, yeah, like I pointed out, Bournemouth are just have two centre backs, and they have their manager itself is openly telling that they need more players and they are not up to the level. It is a very bad sign to start the season, and it's going to end surely terrible. And their defense in preseason was defending set pieces, particularly one of the highlights I was watched. It was very terrible, and so I feel Dean is a better pick for game week 1 and game week 2.
I agree
Interesting.
completely.
Yeah, I know Dean has been a troll pick last year, but historically he's been a very good fullback. And there is also one point that I want to add to Srini is that Cash is always amongst yellow cards as well, and that impacts his bonus points and his extra point potential. So Dean in a short term move looks really good, and I think he's switching nicely with Bailey as well. So a Dean assist, Bailey goal, just like how what happened in their last friendly, wouldn't be a surprise if it repeats in game week 1 or 2. So Dean probably is a better short term option as well. Yeah. If anyone has any more questions, you can keep it rolling. You can talk. Yeah. Anything else?
I actually have a question.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, there's one player I thought at least one of us would be having him in the drafts, or at least mention him in bringing him in the future. Is Kyle Walker. What do you think about Kyle Walker at 5 million? Because we've talked a lot about Dean, Cash, Trippier, but why not Walker? Because I strongly considered having Walker in my team instead of Dean because of the fixtures Man City have and his price point. And City are not signing Cucurella, so it means that Walker is likely to start most of the games unless they sign another big fullback, and we have not heard any rumors as yet.
Yeah, so I think I'll take up this question. We discussed about Kyle Walker in detail in the Manchester City stream. So the key points about taking Walker is he is the one I think who will be. We have five defenders for the 4 spots at the moment with Laporte gone. We have Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Walker, and Ake. These are the five people fighting for those 4 spots. And right away coming to game week 1, I think I'm not sure if Pep would want to start Cancelo against Bowen. I still have a thinking that it would be Ake because Cancelo was very bad defending in the Community Shield game. He was good attack ways as usual, but he wasn't great defensive. And Pep also knows that he plays Cancelo for his attacking threat. It is an open truth. And I think Cancelo, and he also won't bench Cancelo. So I think Cancelo starts at right back. There is a chance Cancelo starts at right back and Ake starts at left back for the West Ham game. And Stones could take up the centre back spot along with Diaz. That is part of my thinking. And once and for the big games, I think Stones is someone who can also play at the right back. If you want to play, if Laporte becomes fit, Laporte and Diaz could be a centre back pairing, and I think Ake could play left back or Cancelo could play left back, and you could see Diaz and Stones at some point because they have a very good understanding between them. And so, yeah, Stones could play right back, could play centre back. I think in some of the big games, Stones has performed really well playing even at the right back. At 5 million spot, I personally feel Ake is a better pick for the first 4 weeks compared to Walker.
That's very surprising for me, but yeah, I mean, considering the fact that, like you mentioned, City Cancelo is not that great at defending, and in the absence of Laporte, someone like Walker's speed is very important for defending counter attacks, and also I thought that he will be someone who's the first name on the team sheet, given the fact that they need some. And even last season towards the end, he was not playing because he was having injury issues, right? So whenever he has been fit under Pep Guardiola, he largely starts. The one problem we can have with Walker is we will not get any attacking returns. That's for sure. He's not someone who's going to give us. But at his price, I thought he may start and he will give a lot of attacking returns. We'll give a lot of clean sheets. So
yeah, that's what with Walker you can't with Walker you can equate attacking returns. He's someone who I think will get 0 goals and 0 assists this season, and there is a chance, like I mentioned, Ederson could get an assist this season, but I'm not sure on Walker getting one. So.
Pretty brutal attack on Kyle Walker
from a Man City fan.
Yeah, he is important in the City system, but in FPL wise, I think
Yeah.
he is someone who
Yeah,
drops in the center of the pitch and
I think
I think Surya, we had some problem with your connection.
yeah. Wait. Oh,
Let's
okay.
just wait.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Surya is back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if anyone has some more questions, or we can wrap it up as we have, like, say,
I think before we
15
wrap
minutes.
it up, one thing I
Yeah.
would like to say is that those who are watching, listening, please
Yeah.
drop a like to the stream and subscribe. We are like roughly about 3 subs away from 300, so that will be great for us before we reach Game Week 1's deadline. That's
Yeah.
in about roughly 14 odd minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm just gonna see if my captain is right on Salah.
Yeah. Just need
Yeah.
to
Guys, before
check
the
the
website crashes in another 4 minutes, cross check your
Yeah.
spots. So,
So hopefully
I'm
nobody made any changes because of the stream that we discussion we had.
No. I have, even though you
No.
sold Martinelli is pretty much same as Saka. I have not, I have not downgraded or upgraded elsewhere. But
Yeah.
it's good to have different opinions in different teams.
Yeah.
That's how FPL is fun that way. Yeah.
I nearly bought the Elanga suggestion actually. I really liked it. I thought Elanga could be a good option ahead of Dean for 2 week punt. But then I was like, no, not my.
Actually, he had a very silent preseason, to be honest. Elanga was
Hmm.
supposed to lighten it up, considering he played really well in last season, but he somehow didn't wasn't in the spotlight. He was actually not that great against Atletico as well. Like Ten Hag wasn't that impressed, so I wouldn't say he's a good punt, because that's a transfer waiting to happen as well for you. Pretty much there will be a lot of gains that just Aditya trying to sell United as well.
No,
See,
I didn't buy
I
it
basically
completely.
see. I said that that's a risk. It's a risk until Martial is back
Yeah,
or until Ronaldo takes his place. That's why I said maybe Bailey or Neto
yeah,
or
but
maybe the other options you said might be better.
yeah, but now maybe Rashford could be interesting because he's 6.5 and is expected to start up front. So Sancho's now on the right. When Rashford is on the left, he pretty much runs. That's what generally people that watch him say. He keeps running. But him playing centrally is also another
In one of
uh,
the games, right, we saw Martial and Rashford switch positions,
switch.
and
Yeah,
Martial was playing on the left and Rashford played
yeah,
up front, and that
yeah,
kind of did not make a big difference. So we'll see what happens with in terms of United. As I said, that I've gone overboard and things might go
yeah,
right or wrong. I think so. We've come pretty much to the end. We need the last 10 minutes for us to think what we want to do before the website goes down. So, in any case, I mean, it's better not to make any more changes. But
yeah.
nevertheless, I think we're done with this stream. We're ready to wrap up. And thanks for all for making time and joining, or to our listeners, viewers who are watching, and to the panelists who took out their time from Friday, busy Friday before the deadline. And we'll see you all preferably, I think, next week, midweek, where we talk about Game Week 1, how it went, and we'll look towards Game Week 2 and what all happened. So that's going to be interesting. So that's it, guys. And yeah, we will see you all the next stream. That's next week. And all the best for the start of the season. Hopefully, things go great for all of us.
That's great.
Yeah,
good luck,
Yeah.
everyone.
Take care.
good
Yeah.
luck. Good luck,
See you.
everyone. Have a great season. Take care.
Yeah. You.